penetrative, penetrative, I think.
Anyway, my question is about spam on the internet. From my email, I mean. Hello?
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. I'm way too long. I'm sorry. So you mean you're...
Number one, I would like to thank Netflix. I would like to thank the Academy. I would like to thank God for bringing this just delicious nonsense into our lives. Wow. Just wow. How came we so blessed or cursed? Honestly, we're both. We're blessed and we're cursed. Anyway, my name is Adeze and I watch TV, and we are going to be talking about Netflix's Too Hot to Handle. Is it too hot to handle? Yeah, so okay, this is going to be a get ready with me because why not? And yeah, we're just gonna have some words. We're just gonna chat about a couple things and whatever. If you don't know Too Hot to Handle, if you've never heard of it, first of all, congratulations. Second of all, get on it. What are you even doing? Get on it. It's essentially like Netflix asked the question, how can we make Love Island trashier? You know, they're always asking the most important questions. And today the question was, what is it we can do? In what way can we make Love Island trashier? And, you know, they really thought about it, and they decided, you know what we can do is no one is allowed to have sex. So that's essentially the premise of Too Hot to Handle, all right? Basically, they put 10 conventionally attractive, they're all quote unquote, oh, well, yeah, they're all, there's an ambulance outside. Anyway, Netflix puts 10 conventionally attractive people in a house together, and these are all people who are, you know, for lack of a better word, hoes. They're all hoes. They don't know how to carry on a long-lasting, meaningful relationship. And so Netflix put them together in this experiment that's like, can you get to know someone without having sex with them? That's the whole premise of the show. And if they're able to successfully do that for 30 days, they get to split $100,000. Now, here's my first big question about this show, right? I personally think that $100,000 to split between potentially 14 people. It starts with 10 people, but then they add people onto the island. So potentially 16 people. It's not that much money. Like, honestly, it's not that much money. And so, yeah, that's kind of my first big question about the whole thing. It's just like, at first I thought they each got $100,000 if they succeeded, and I was like, damn, Netflix, y'all got money like that, huh? But they don't. In fact, they have money so unlike that potentially 16 people were gonna be splitting this $100,000 price, right? But here's the kicker: anytime anyone kisses somebody else, touches somebody else sexually, or masturbates, and obviously has sex, the whole group loses money. Yep. You don't lose money from your portion. Everybody in the group loses money. Yep. That's the premise of the show. And so, at first, you don't really know how much each offense costs, but you quickly find out that kissing, you guys, just kissing costs $3,000. 3,000 with a T. Kissing. Can you imagine having to pay $3,000? Wow, insanity. So that's kind of the basic layout of this show. So now we gotta introduce the players of this show. If you have not seen the show, I will be spoiling a lot of things, so ease on down the road and go and watch it. And then when you have watched it, return. If you don't care about spoilers, welcome. Welcome to my lair. I will be spoiling a lot of things. So we're going to talk about the people who are participating in this game show, all right? And I have written all of their names out in my little handy dandy notebook here. And I've given them each a grade. It's not a letter grade. It's more like a pass, fail kind of thing. But I'm calling it class or ass, all right? Because some of them were real ass, all right? So we're going to just talk about each person individually. We're going to start with our boy, Harry. I have never turned so quickly on a person on a show in my entire life. Whenever they were doing the interviews, Harry said something that was like, "Hello, my sexy quesadillas." And I was like, oh, he's so cute. Oh my God, he's so precious. And then that whole thing with Francesca happened. And the way he just turned on that girl, I was like, this man is a snake. He is a snake with a hard K. Ooh, he's suspicious. I feel bad for anyone who looks at that man, who dates that man, anything like that. And it was really, really clear that Harry did not give a single nothing. He did not care about winning this money. And I was looking it up, and apparently he and his girlfriend at the time, they have since broken up, won $100,000 on some New Zealand love show thing. And so he was not incentivized. He was not incentivized to try to win any kind of money. And it was very, very apparent because any chance he got, he was making out with Francesca, who we're going to talk about in just a second. Any chance Harry got, he was using it to make out with Francesca. And for what? So why do we have people on this show who are not trying to win money, who are just there for fun? And that's another thing too is, the people on the show didn't know that they were not allowed to have sex. They kind of thought that they were going to be on a show that's sort of like Are You the One or something like that, where, you know, you can have as much sex as you want. So they didn't realize what they were getting into. So it's a little bit fair that it's unexpected, but the kind of money that Harry and Francesca, who we're going to talk about in a second, lose, the kind of money that they... Oh, Jesus, God, if I was in that house, the kind of money that they lose. And basically, Harry tries to gaslight Francesca after like screwing her over, lying about her, and she ends up apologizing. Ma'am, ass, Harry's ass. Thank you. Next question, Sharon. Sharon is class. Sharon basically from the beginning likes Rhonda. I don't really have a lot to say about Sharon. His relationship with Rhonda was honestly the healthiest in the house. They're interesting people. I wish the best for them. Sharon is a very attractive man. What else is there to say about him? He, at no point in the game did he ever rub me the wrong way. I mean, they all kind of rubbed me the wrong way in their like freaking interviews at the top of the show or every time they were introduced. But I think Sharon was the person who I turned around the most on. And I think that he was one of the best people in the house. So, class. Next is David. David is also completely class. David is so class. Whenever he decided to stop pursuing Rhonda because Sharon had a thing for her, I was like, wow, you're such a sweet man. He did lose them $3,000 though, so, but no, he's definitely one of the gems on this show. Kels, y'all, let me tell you, Kels was my man on this show. Like, I feel like if I was on this show, I would be Kels. I would be that person who's like, stop losing me money. This, like, Kels seemed to be the only person in that entire house, in that entire situation, who realized that they were trying to win any sort of cash. And I theorize, in my opinion, I think that Kels is the only person who needed that money in any sort of way, because a lot of the people in that house had no need for it. And it was clear. It was very clear that they had zero need for that money and they were just there to have fun. I mean, if you can afford, if you can afford to just take a month off your life, just take a month off from your everyday life and go on some island in somewhere, I don't even know where they are, and just play games and fuck around, anyway, and play games and just mess around, then you don't need, like, it's, I don't know, like, but the money is not as important to you. And I think Kels was the only person in that entire house who was keeping the money in perspective. And for that, I respected him. And at the end, like, whenever everybody kept losing money, Kels was getting madder and madder. And I said, Kels, Kelechi, go and collect your money. At the end of this, I would have been pounding down everybody's door, being like, go and collect your money. Go and those people, they owe you money, Kelechi. So I was very glad in the way that things turned out, because if I was Kels, people would have been hearing from me. They would have been having to cut me some checks. All right, that's what I'm saying. Next, Rhonda. We like Rhonda. There was a point when I didn't like her, was when that whole Harry and Francesca thing was happening, and she just kind of took Harry's side. Even though Francesca was saying the truth, and like no one knew she was saying the truth, and the shady way that she acted. After all of that happened, I don't think anyone probably suspected her of telling the truth until it was all over. But so the way that she just immediately took Harry's side, I was sour on her for a couple episodes. But then her relationship with Sharon was so precious that I pretty quickly was right back on her side. And also we all learned that Francesca is a crazy person. So Rhonda is a class. Kels was also a class. I forgot to say that. Next is Haley. Haley was a mess, all right? Haley was really, truly a whole mess, right? At first, I really liked Haley. Like, whenever she and Francesca conspired to kiss to lose people money, after everybody, like, decided not to believe Francesca, even after Harry was lying his butt off, whatever, it's fine, all right? Harry was lying his butt off, and people still chose to believe his stupid... Oh, I hate him so much. He's truly, like, for me, he's the peak ass. Anyway, so I really liked her after she and Francesca decided to be vindictive and just be like, yeah, well, then we're going to lose everybody money. The end. But then she turned and she was just so bitter about being there. And maybe it was because she's in love with Francesca. We don't know. But the way she turned, and she was just so mean. And she was like, I don't need to be here. I hate everyone. I was like, then go home. Go home. And then when Lana, the little robot Febreze thing, was like, Haley, you're not investing in the process. And I was like, bye, goodbye, Haley. We don't want to see you again. Goodbye. So it was really nice to see her leave. So ass. Matt was the one who everyone kept calling Jesus. I wrote down that he's ass adjacent because, hear me out. I feel the same way about him that I felt when I was watching, Love is Blind, and there's the one guy, what's his name, who kept giving everybody advice. I was just like, are you not in the same situation that everybody is in? Well, then your advice is unnecessary because you don't know anything. Otherwise, you would not be here. Duh. And he just like didn't really try to get to know anyone for real, and that was annoying. And very briefly, he tried to get to know that one girl, the new girl, and yeah, it was just, he was boring, and when he wasn't being boring, he was just trying to give everybody unsolicited advice, and I always find that to be like, just a very, very annoying thing. So he's just kind of in between for me. Next, we have Nicole. Now, Nicole is complete class. We don't really learn that much about her, and low-key, I was shipping Nicole and Kels. That was like my ship. but the ship never sailed, unfortunately. It didn't even come close to sailing. I don't think that they really gave each other the time of day. One thing I will say about Nicole is I'm someone who believes in loving the skin you're in, and homegirl needs to start wearing foundation that is anywhere close to her skin color, because the way that her skin was when she woke up in the morning versus the way that she was after she put her makeup on, ma'am, we cannot be going from mostly ghostly to orange. We can't. All right, we have to find somewhere in between. There's nothing wrong with being in the lightest shade that Maybelline makes. They make it for a reason, so use it. All right, we need to stop the nonsense. We need to stop the nonsense. So anyway, class. Was that Nicole? Yeah, it was Nicole. I'm like forgetting people. Chloe. We're sick of Chloe. We're sick of Chloe. Chloe did not learn anything. At the end, when Chloe won any sort of money, I said, for what? I'm sorry, I need you to run back for me. Why is she included in the people who's winning? What did she learn? What is it? Can somebody please just explain it to me? What is it that Chloe learned in this process? How to lose a guy in 10 days? How to bump around from man to man to man to man? If that's what the game was, then she sure learned it, but that's not what the game was. It's not what we're told the game was. So why was she included in? She needs to run her check to Kelechi. Go and give your check to Kelechi, Chloe. So, and also, yeah, the way that she treated Kels, because, oh no, that was Francesca. Never mind. She didn't treat Kels any sort of way. But I was just kind of annoyed with her. To be fair, she got screwed in that situation with, what's his name? Corey. We can't stand Corey. But she got screwed in that situation with Corey. And so I liked her then, but like, I was just sick of her most of the time. So she can go in my book. The other half of Harry and Francesca. I mean, I think I've talked about her mostly. She does not know what's good for her. Basically, when Kels was like, I'm not gonna lose money with you, I'm not gonna lose money for you, she was like, no, well, I don't like, I like when someone chases me. And I'm like, you're not. That's my rice cooker. It's gonna beep 10 times. Cool. I was like, I'm sorry, but you're not worth the 3,000, 6,000, however much money it was. Harry and Francesca collectively lost the group $30,000. That's like more than how much I have left in student loans. More than $30,000. I'm sorry, excuse me, what does that even mean? And to be fair, they did redeem themselves. They did redeem themselves because they want it back, but like, like, for me, I think her and Harry should have also been exempt. I think winning the money back was the least they could do. I think they should have also been exempt from the prize because they clearly did not need it. Like I said, Harry just won $100,000 in a different game show. Francesca needs the money the least out of everybody. The girl is like an Instagram model and she apparently makes good money from it according to her. And number 2, 3, 4, 5 is the amount of plastic surgery she's had means that she's well off. Don't get me wrong. Girl, get your plastic surgery. Girl, look however you want to. But if you can casually afford that much plastic surgery, then you don't need that money. And it showed in the way that the two of them got together. And you know what? It's unfair of me to not acknowledge the fact that that Rhonda and Sharon also lost the group money. And while I love their relationship and emotionally, I'm glad they won money, practically, I'm also glad they won money because they grew as a couple. I don't believe that Francesca and Harry grew at all, but I would understand a case to be made for Rhonda and Sharon not winning money. I would also understand a case to be made for Kels not winning money because he didn't put himself out there. But Kels is my man. If anybody tries to tell me that man did not deserve to win money, you're gonna have to talk to the hand on that one. Thank you very much. Next person we're gonna talk about, I think I talked about Chloe already. Bryce, nobody wants to be on your boat. Bryce, nobody wants to have sex with you on your boat. Bryce, I'm dying. You're not all that, Bryce. I'm so sorry to say it. Look, if you have to hear it from me, you have to hear it from me. You and your boat can ease on down the Atlantic Ocean and nobody's gonna say boo. I swear I'm not dying. So, bye, Bryce. Ass. And Corey is, listen, we met Corey for a total of 10 minutes. Just kidding, it was 3 episodes. But I was so sick of that man after 10 minutes of him being introduced into the series. I was like, who do you think you are? He's one of those people who is attractive, and he and Francesca are in the same club of people who know they're attractive and just don't know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to talk to themselves. They don't know how to deal with themselves. It's quite frankly annoying. It's annoying. Grow up. You're not all that. Grow up. The end. Sick of Corey. Ass. Lydia, I barely remember who Lydia is. I think she's the person who ends up with David. She's gorgeous. I think she's one of the most gorgeous people on the show. But she didn't leave much of an impression on me. And Maddie, I feel very much the same. They just kind of didn't get enough screen time. Honestly, I kind of felt bad for Maddie because she did try to talk to, what's his name? Matt. But Matt, y'all, that was the most awkward conversation I ever heard in my entire life. The most awkward conversation I have ever heard in my whole life. I was like, excuse me, what are we talking about here? So she did try to connect with him, and then after he left, she kind of just fell into the background and we never heard from her again. So that's kind of the rundown of the cast and the crew. If I forgot somebody, then honestly they were so forgettable that they didn't even make my little list here. And I looked up the list online, so I don't think I forgot anybody. Anyway, so do I think this show is interesting? I don't know. I'm gonna honestly, sure, because I did watch all of it, but I wouldn't watch it again. And if a second season came out, I don't know if I would watch it again. And I think it's because it's just like the show relies so much on us loving or being interested in the concept. It doesn't really provide much more. And the thing about Love Island that this show is missing is Love Island, it's basically daily, right? This is just a very set 8 episodes, and Netflix just didn't really find a way to make it exciting. Like, it wasn't reality show enough. We didn't see enough of their everyday lives and enough drama for it to have been that interesting. But also, they didn't play, I think there should be more games. I think there should be more activities and more interesting activities. I think they should be able to vote people out of the house. I think there are so many things that Netflix could have done and if they do a future season, I think there's so many things they could do to make it a lot more interesting. But this season, it felt fine. And the show honestly didn't feel as novel as Netflix thinks it is. And so I think in those ways, it suffered. But if you love garbage, definitely check it out. There isn't as much unnecessary drama as would have been ideal for a show like this, but we're not mad about it. If there's a second season, hopefully it's a little bit more exciting because we were just a little bit bored. Just maybe this much, that much bored. But yeah, those are my thoughts on. Was this show too hot to handle? Was it too hot to handle? It was lukewarm, and we handled it fine. Thank you so much for asking. And also, my chest is so red. Look, it's fine. Anyway, I will see you next time. And please, if you like this video, hit the like button, and please, please, please subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.